Hey everybody, this is Percy LaPointe with the Lawn and Landscape Podcast. Today in this episode, I want to talk about something that's really important for a lot of guys just starting out, which is financial issues. There are many financial issues that you may run into, but one particular case is, hey, I'm doing all this work and I just cannot find the money. The money comes in and the money goes out just as quick as it comes in. So what I've learned whenever I was first starting out, the first thing that I had to get a handle on was efficiency. So you need to live below your means. Obviously, that's number one. You can't live like a rock star just starting out. You don't have the fancy things. You may not have the nicest equipment. You may not have a lot of the things that you might see your competitors have, and that's okay. I personally, the first thing I would say is keep it simple. What I mean by keeping it simple is you don't want to have to try to keep up with them. Focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on what the competition's doing. And I would just keep it simple. As far as the service offering, when most of the guys first start out, and I'm guilty of it, guys, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I am the first person that's guilty of this firsthand. Keeping it simple means don't take on anything and everything. Taking on anything and everything taught me a lot of lessons, but it also cost me a lot of money. So for example, I was just mowing yards, just lawn maintenance when I first started out. So we take on yards, boop, I'd get a question about landscaping. Yeah, we can do that. This was way back when we didn't need a landscape license, so I would go ahead and do it. Later on, I got my landscape license, but I would get asked about, oh, hey, do you pressure wash? Yeah. Do you do gutter cleaning? Yeah. I just would not say no. And even though the money looks good, what happens is, and we had to survive, right? So I get it, I know. And if you're in that particular situation where, hey, I have to survive, I got to make money, I just can't make next week, go ahead and do it. But what will happen is your service offering is very loose. So you don't focus on what makes you the money, okay? That's what I mean by keeping it simple. If you keep it nice and tight and say, hey, I just do lawn maintenance at first, just mow. There's a lot of money in it at first whenever you take on these yards and you're just mowing. Hey, do you do landscape? No. Because then you need an investment on equipment. There's a lot of other things that you don't think that will cost you money just to take it on. So for example, let me just talk about gutter cleaning. Hey, do you do gutter cleaning? Yes, I do. Okay, give me a price. Oh, that'll be $100. Okay, now I had to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or hardware store and go buy a ladder and go buy this and go buy that. Well, I didn't make $100. It actually cost me $150 in equipment. I had it for the next job. I know what you're going to say. I have that equipment for the next job. But what happens is you don't know how much to charge because you've never done it before. So you're just out there using a swag is what I would call it. A swag is a scientific wild, guess. And so you go out there and you just guess at what you would think you would charge. You charge a customer and you're not really making money. So keep it simple. Nice and tight service offerings. If you're going to just do landscaping and lawn maintenance, just do landscaping and lawn maintenance. I'm not saying don't jump off into anything and everything. I'm just saying keep it nice and tight. When you start to expand, you can dabble a little bit because your revenues are there. You can afford to make those mistakes and those investments along the way for all the equipment that you're going to take on and underbidding properties. So keeping it simple would be the first thing. The second thing I would highly recommend is like for lawn maintenance. So you have to find your niche. If your niche is like lawn maintenance, I took on square yards in the front, square yards in the back, very boom, in and out. So you would want to find yards that are easy to maintain. That way, when you're by yourself or when you're just starting out, you can have more accounts that you can manage with the time you have. So let's just say you're working an 8-hour day. If you're averaging 5 yards, they're larger properties. It may look like the money's good, but I typically make more money on these smaller yards that are $50 to $100 a pop, and they're smaller yards than I would a $300 piece of property that may be a couple acres. So and there's more revenue coming in, and there's more flexibility there. So I don't know. Everybody's going to have a different argument, but I'm going to tell you this: I've built a very good business, and I built it off of a lot of small yards starting out, and then whenever my business grew, I took on a little bit larger properties, so it made a huge difference. So I'm going to say that, if you're in landscaping, only take certain size jobs. Don't try to overdo it. The money looks good, guys. I get it. And girls, I get that the money looks good. But what happens is you lose focus. You lose sight of it. So you're not laser focused. You're taking on. And then you'll get yourself in a bind because you've spread yourself too thin, or you've underbid them. I mean, there's a lot of underpricing properties that go on when you're new. So those are the two biggest recommendations that I would make to anybody just starting out or having problems with the financial stuff. The money will come once you start to focus. Like whenever I was focusing on lawn maintenance, I'm telling you, I thought of everything. Hey, how do I load up my truck the quickest way? How do I take everything off of it at the end of the day? How would I get prepared for the day? I found every bit of efficiency in the day, and I focused on it. And that's why I made so much money in lawn maintenance. People complain all the time, hey, I can't make money mowing yards. And when you get big enough, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's just smaller margins with mowing than there are with the other services that you can provide. And that's what they're talking about. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about I actually had very good margins doing lawn maintenance. But I found every bit of efficiency in the day, what to do, what not to do, how to operate, how to do this, the routes that I were doing, how many to do in a day, with the size of the yards, where, my little focus point was 20,000 square feet or less. You find your little niche, and I just slammed it. And so I found my little honey pot, I guess, if you call it that. So I hope this helps you guys. There are other financial issues that you're going to run across along the way. This is just the starter to get you kind of going in the right direction. There are other issues that you're going to run across. I'm going to try to keep these episodes short and sweet, and then provide you as many as possible. So if you have any questions or concerns, again, I hope this helps. If you take one or two nuggets out of this and apply these in your business, that is what makes me happy. But you can reach me. Again, this is Percy LaPointe with the Lawn and Landscape Podcast. Email address, percy@lawnandlandscapesupply.com. You can reach us at www.lawnandlandscapesupply.com or on Facebook, Lawn and Landscape Supply. Thank you so much.